So the Dolphin Studio originally started in Stockbridge, Massachusetts in this house. This is the original sign, and this was the house that my grandfather started printing in. We've since changed it and we have a studio up in Beckett. So this is my family home, not the studio anymore, but this sign my grandfather made, and it's our family crest and also our logo for the Dolphin Studio. So if we come inside, we're going to be talking a little bit about the history of the Dolphin Studio and why it's so special to us.
All right, so we want to find pictures of the Dolphin Studio so we can share the history, right? That's what we're looking for right now? Oh yeah, that's good, Sophie.
Yeah, that's Prim down in the basement. Here's John with the calendar above him.
Stylish pose.
So my parents bought this house when they were living in Ireland, and I was only 3 years old at the time. But it was in 1969, and they bought it sight unseen through the mail. And one of the selling points, I think, was mention of this space. This was a, one big room. It was a studio. The woman who lived here prior was what they called an action painter, which meant she threw buckets of paint at canvases on the floor. And so the whole floor was covered. So this is actually the sink that my dad used for his screen printing. My dad was very tidy. He never got any ink on him. I mean, he wore his little apron, which I believe is this actual apron. You know, he'd go to church every Sunday in his little Sunday suit and come home and screen print with his suit on. You know, that was what we did. You do the dishes, you get dinner, and you print the calendar. So this screen is made from an emulsion that my mother cut with an X-Acto knife. You cut the stencil with this material and then you adhered it directly to the screen, so there was no photographic aspect of this screen making process. If the screen got damaged, you had to cut it all over again. My mother was an amazing stencil cutter. Like, just people see her work and they're just blown away by the fact that she did it by hand. So when I was a kid, all the printing happened up here in what we called my mother's studio, even though my father was the one who screen printed mostly. And then when my dad passed away in 2010, we kind of were like, what do we do, right? And then, of course, my dad died in January, and we found that he had already designed his calendar months for the following year. So Sophie's husband, Pat,
Printed that year. And it was sort of interesting because my dad, knowing that the end of his life was coming, still took the time to make his designs because he wanted to make sure that that following year the calendar would continue on. And I think that that is one of the things that sort of drove us to say we have to do it. We have to keep going. We can't stop. So there are three of us: Crispina, myself, Sofia, and our sister Felicitas. And Felicitas is our eldest sister. And when she was 18 years old, she was diagnosed with having multiple sclerosis and still lives with that today. We are fortunate that she lives quite close to us, and so we're able to go visit her. She's really unable to move her body except for her head. She can move and a little bit with her hands.
This is Felicitas' portfolio, and this is high school work. Really amazing work. And we're able to turn her imagery into things that are for the calendar. I love this image. Maybe she was 15 or 16 when she made this, right? Like, just really cool. And she went to Stanford Law School. Like, the girl had every single thing going for her.
Look at this one. I love it. The pink bikini.
A sunflower. We did a sunflower a few years ago that was taken from that.
My mother is also passed now at this point, and I say a lot. They're looking down on us, and they're either smiling, laughing hysterically at what we're doing, or crying because we're not doing it the way they would have wanted us to have done it. But I think with all of those things, mostly they're smiling down.
Yeah, no, they are. Our parents' friends were kind of like the first people who received the calendars. They were initially designed as gifts for their far-flung friends all across the world. And some of those people have the whole 51 years of Dolphin Studio calendars, and I don't know.
I think that also people who have been getting the calendar for years and years, they feel like they've watched us grow up through our artwork, and the same with our children. We include a family photo in with the calendar, and that really makes a connection for a lot of these customers.